Hi everyone, it's Crystal from France. Bonjour à tous. So I've been a J-pop and K-pop fan for almost 20 years. Yes, I started with J-pop first. And I actually lived in Tokyo for about 7 years. So I do speak Japanese fluently and I have a deep understanding of the culture. So if you're watching Produce 101 Japan Shinsekai with subtitles and ever feel like, wait, what did that really mean? Don't worry, I got you. If you need cultural context, hidden nuances, or just extra tea, drop a comment and I'll break it down for you. So today we're diving into my full review of episode 1, and trust me, I have a lot to say. So now I've watched pretty much every survival shows out there, but this Japanese version, it hits different. It's my favorite one by far. And here's why. Especially unlike Korean survival shows where trainees have been grinding for like 5+ years, a lot of these contestants are just, regular people. They're really regular kids, right? They were students, part-timers, like people with jobs, but they just decided, to hit pause on their lives to chase their dreams. And honestly, that makes it way more relatable for me. And also sometimes way more chaotic. So and also, let's be real, like Japan loves entertainment and comedy. So not just talent, but personality, right? So being funny in Japan, that's a skill. People love it. So if you're the class clown, that can literally get you a lot of votes. So you'll see trainees advancing, not just because they're good, but also because, they're entertaining, they're really funny. And some of them are genuinely hilarious, especially if you get all the Japanese jokes and everything. So yeah, expect talent, chaos, secondhand embarrassment, but it's going to be really fun. All right, let's dive in. So I'm gonna start with like a general review of this first episode. Then I'm gonna review the performances we got, and I'm gonna talk about the interesting chemies we already have, like the chemies in Japan. Chemi, it's like chemistry, like the duos we already got. And lastly, I'm gonna show you my picks and the one I'm voting for. So let's start with a general review. So first impression, this episode felt like Boys Planet vibe in the editing. I don't know if you guys also felt that, but it really feels like, okay, it's like some Korean producers are back editing the show, not just Japanese ones. So yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that, but we'll see how it goes. And also, good thing we don't get the Mnet, famous like million times replay. Oh my god, this is good because I hate when they replay, all their stuff. And Japanese also hate that, so I think they cater it to the Japanese viewers, so that's really good. And also, actually, this time I was watching it live, and 3 hours live watching was wrong. I was like, damn, give us a 5 minute break in the middle, but it's all right. I like this long episode. It's really entertaining. And so this new season Shinsekai, right? It's the season 4. It's the global season. First time we're getting, global trainees, and first time us, Sekai producers and all of y'all will be able to vote from, wherever we are. So that's really good. I really love it. And also, we this time it's gonna be a 12-member group. So that's a new for Produce 101 Japan. So far it was always 11, but now we got 12. And first I was like, oh my gosh, no, that's way too many. And then I think about, the finals every time. I'm like, okay, actually pretty good. We got another spot for someone else. So, because we always like, okay, I need more spots. So actually at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy about that. And this time, yeah, we get this training candidates, system. It's like literally the Boys to Planet, like elimination system right from the beginning. They don't even get like F class. It's like, let's see if actually the people want you first before we even put you in F class, right? So that was this system. It was okay. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but anyway. And in terms of voting, so it's 70% Japan and 30% global, which I think it's pretty fair because let's be real, Produce 101 Japan is still a pretty much Japanese show, right? So hopefully we're going to get more global viewers, like me and all of you Sekai producers. So hopefully we can hype up this show and, make it viral and everything. So, and also, as you can see, they say like why Sekai voting matters. Because so we do the first votes, like normal votes, and after the top 12 survive through recalculated ratio, and for the top 12 now it's like the reverse. It's like global gets 70% and Japan gets 30%. So I'm not sure how does that work. So if anyone actually understood this, please let me know. Alright, so it was my general review of this show. Okay, now let's dive into the performances review. So quick, overview of all these performances. I think I was a little bit underwhelmed actually. I'm not sure why. I think I was expecting a little bit more in terms of level and skills, but maybe, as always, they're keeping all the maybe like the really like good performances for next episode, So we'll see. And also I think like some of those like songs selection, like song choices were really not that. I think it really did not suit a lot of these trainees. I think some of the songs that they decided to do for these first classes ranking evaluations. But anyway, let's start with the first group. So we got freshmen here. I think this first performance was all right. It was pretty decent. So we got Tomoki got a B. Tomoki is this like real like big kid, like tall kids, and like he's super young too, I think, and he's super cute. I actually already like him, and so he got a B. And we got Kosuke, Ryoga, and Shu. They got C, and I already like Kosuke a lot. And Ryoga is also a good surprise, because Ryoga and Kosuke are already like one of the, popular trainees already in Japan. And Ryoga is a Mikkeiken, so he's like no experience whatsoever in dance or singing, but actually his voice was pretty decent, so I was really happy about that. And then we got Yuma. Yuma is kind of like the fake look-alike of Aldi1, Isang1, right? We got a D, and Rento, it's got TC, so TC means trainee candidate. But actually through the votes it got in, so yeah. So this first performance it was alright, nothing exceptional, but actually I think I would have given Kosuke a B. I think he deserved a B. But anyway, let's move on. Next we got login. Those 5 trainees are like I fan, so fans. So yeah, that's about it. We got like Ayumu, he was already like in season 2. We got Koshiro, he's a big Yudai fan, and actually he's gonna meet him next episode, so can't wait to see this. And yeah, Shinji was like a backup dancer for I&I, and yeah, Junsei also has got like, I&I really like saved him when he was going through tough times, so they're just all up I&I. So Shinji got B, Ayumu got C, Junsei got C, Koshiro and Lento got TC, but Koshiro made it through the votes, and Lento is already out. So this performance, it wasn't nothing too exceptional. It was alright. It was just alright. Next one we got Shishimai. So here we got Chisato, who is Daigo's younger brother, and actually in Produce 1 season 2, Daigo was one of my favorite picks. So my favorite trainee, I mean. So I was really interested in his younger brother. And Chisato, boy, when they ask you to dance, please dance. Boy just wanted to show his vocals, which were not good, let's be honest. I was like, damn, you could have just danced, and at least for this, it's just the beginning, just do what they ask you to do, right? But anyway, he got a B, so that was alright. DPL also got a B, which is also good. And Jose got a D, and Luca unfortunately is already out. And these performances, it was really, those are like the dancers like trainees. They have like already long years of of dancing, and yeah, their performances were, in terms of dance wise, it was pretty good, pretty synchronized and everything. But yeah, it was nothing too exceptional too, but it was still good. Next, we got Reshine, all the the boys with that were on other survival shows. So Taiga was on Taipuro, so it was Timeless Project was a pretty really popular show in Japan with the ex Johnny's group called it was back in the day it was Sexy Zone, and now they're called Timeless. And we got Daiki, his name he went by Midori in Make 1. Pretty cute guy. And we got also Senna, he was in Tron. So their performance was alright too. Daiki got a B. I'm not sure if I would have given him a B. I would maybe a C, because I think his vocals were not that good in my opinion. And Taiga got a C, and I think him and Taiga was pretty much similar. So I would have given both C, and Senna got a D, which is pretty fair, I think. And yeah, next one we got Atlantic Boys. So everyone, let's say thank you, Adam. Thank you, Utah. Oh my goodness! After all these like vocal performances, we finally got some decent singers or these potential main vocalists, right? Especially Adam. Adam, he's from I think Honolulu, Hawaii, but now he lives in Texas. But he's like Japanese descent, American or Japanese American, and he already had experience like with like singing and dancing. He went to America's Got Talent, so his boy is really solid. Hopefully, I think Japanese viewers are gonna love him because Japanese viewers like fans they love kids who can sing, and that's why Ayane-chan from season 3, the girl season, was able to debut because her voice was really was really exceptional. So I think he's gonna go far. And Utah too, I think he was born in the Netherlands, but now he lives in the US too. And also he's pretty cute, I think, and his vocals were pretty decent. So we'll see. I think maybe Utah might struggle with the dancing in the show, but hopefully he'll do his best. So that was a really solid performance for these two. Okay, next one, Soulmates, and yeah, Adam got an A and Utah got a B. So yeah, that's really good. And then Soulmates, we get the Korean kids, Korean trainees, and so we got here you like Hyunjae. He's going to, I think, Hanlim, he goes to Hanlim school in Seoul. And his friends are like, Longshot Ujin, and also I think it was ID Junior. So, he has like friends who already debuted in Korea. So he's like, okay, I need to debut too. But unfortunately for him, he got TC, but then he got in through the votes. And Jongun, in the middle, he's already out, unfortunately. And Jungkook got a C because boy can speak several languages. It's a skill to speak several languages. I do too, so I do agree to go. But really, do you get a C for this show just because of the language skills? I mean, it helps for the the drama of the show. I get it makes us speak. So I guess for the TV and what this show is supposed to do for fans, it's supposed to be entertaining and like makes people talk. So I guess that's do that. But C, no, I would have got him. I would have gave him a D. But anyway, the performance was not that good if I remember correctly. But yeah. Anyway, let's move on to KO guys. All right. I already like this too. To be honest, first information we got, they're from KO. Right? KO is one of the top schools in Japan. So, in Japan, you got like the top 3 schools, like top 3 universities. Number 1, University of Tokyo. Number 2, KO. And number 3, Waseda. And University of Tokyo is a public school, and KO and Waseda are like private schools. And it's really similar to the Korean, Sky University. And so we know they're from KO, and actually Kinari was already working. He was like in his like first year of like actual professional career, and he was working in I think it was a makeup beauty companies, and I'm pretty sure he was working at Shiseido. Why? Because I worked in Japan, and actually I got an offer to work at Shiseido, so I was like, okay, it might be this company anyway. And Takuto is like I think he's a senior in college now. And so they're both parts of they're like K-pop cover dance club in KO, and it's the same club Fanfan was in. So okay, they're like, okay, well, Fanfan is actually our senpai. We know him. We're in the same same class. And you know what? These two already gave us. They already gave us. We already know the storyline for these two. Do you remember the same storyline? Yes, here they are. My girls from Issue now, Nano-chan and Yuki-chan from Produce 101 season 3, the girls. Same. They were also in the same like kind of like dance club, but they were at Waseda University actually, these two. Even if Nano-chan it does not go to that university, but she was part of the dance club of that university. Anyway, and yeah, so we already got the storyline for this student, like senpai kohai, and like and they're pretty smart. And I think also Kinari, for some reason, he also reminds me of DX-teen Higamoto Ken. I think it's his face, but also just the way he presents himself. He really, makes me think of Ken, which I do like, for in DX-teen, DX-teen fighting. But unfortunately for Kinari, he got TC. They were like, okay, you're not covering anything. Now you need to be the artist. So they got him TC, but thank God, we voted for him. He's back in the show now. and his story is gonna be awesome. I think Kidad is already debuting, to be honest, because he's getting like from F class to A class. Japanese love that. We all love that. So yeah, and I think he's pretty decent. I think he can dance. He needs to be sharper, I think, but he can dance. And in terms of rapping, yeah, he's not bad. So I already like him. I think he's also like like kind of like J1. So he's gonna get the like Sky storyline from F to A, but also the Junkie storyline in terms of like he's from the top schools, and like in Japan they love that, because in your group, if you have like one guy from the top university, you can send him to like variety shows and like quiz shows and whatnot. So it's a good member you can get here. So that was good. And Takuto too. Takuto, he's like he's cuter than what I thought, because he looks like he's gonna do like the Ojo Sama song, but he's pretty cute. And actually, I'm gonna talk about this too later again. But yeah, the performance was alright. I mean, Takuto got a D, and as I said, Kinade was out, but he's back, so thank God. So I'm gonna look forward to their Kemi. Actually, they're gonna be fun to watch. Next, we got West Kids. Here we all say thank you, Yoshiki. Yoshiki was in another singing show from Korea, actually, that in Japan is called Kao something. I don't remember. And the performance it was not that good, but thanks to Yoshiki and Yusei, they got pretty decent vocals. And Yoshiki is already like a main vocalist, potential member. I mean, Japanese fans gonna love him, and I already love him, and I love his vocal tone, and he has like more like lower tone, a little bit like not Junki, but yeah, maybe like maybe like Junki or Fujimaki. I don't remember, but anyway, Yoshi got an A, Yusei got a B, Sora got TC, but he's back in. Unfortunately, Sei messed up his vocals and he's already out. Yeah. Next one, we got High Teens. This one was actually I think the first one of the good performance, in like a general overview. I think it was pretty solid. Like they all can dance, and their vocals and rap were pretty decent. So they all got B, which was pretty fair. I like this performance, actually. One of the best ones, I think. Then we got Tanabota. So Tanabata are also the Korean kids. We got like Shinyoung from Mire Sonyeon, so he already debuted in Korea. We got Hyunsung, who also already debuted in Korea in Picas, and he was also in Project 7 with Yura and Kotaro. And we also got Shineng and Jaeyoung. Their performance was, as expected from Korean trainees. It was good. The dancing was clean cut. The vocals it was just alright. I think it was nothing exceptional, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good, yeah. Let's be honest. So Xian got an A. Yeonsuk already got an A. I would have given him a B because I think his vocals are not that great. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it was not that great. And I think Shihang got pretty good vocals, and it reminds me of TXT Subin. It's like his like cute like puppy look. So I'm kind of interested in Shihang, and Jaeyoung got D, and Jaeyoung was also in Make 1 with Daiki Midori, right? And Make 1 was actually a pretty good show in terms of skills. Unfortunately, it was not popular at all, but whatever. Good luck to Nuera, I think it's called Nuera. Okay, next we got other one. We got the Thai kids, Om and Filipino kid Johan. They both got D, I think. Yeah, they did XG. I forgot the name. What was the rap song that's really popular? I forgot the title of the song, but it was not that good. But they both got D, so okay. Next we got Angels. So the kids, they're all from LA. And we got our golden magnet, golden archer. This kid is so cute. I think he's Vietnamese American, I think. And Japanese fans already love him. They're like, okay, this kid is so cute. We need him, basically. And yeah, he's pretty good. And like, he's like, archery, like movement is already like a thing. So that's pretty good. And unfortunately, Michael and Patrick are already out. But yeah, I really feel bad for Patrick because if you listen to him in the 30-second videos, he has a pretty decent voice. But unfortunately, he did not make it. All right, next we got Runway, so the tall guys. So they also like other one. They also did the XG song, like the same like rap songs, And this song really did not fit two of them, but I'm pretty sure like Giuseppe and Ryuji chose the song because, they were good. They can rap and, they also can sing. So Giuseppe and Ryuji also, I think they're also potential, debuting members. I think they're going to be popular, these two actually. I really love them. So both of them got an A. And Daiki and Takuto both got TC, but thanks to the votes, they're back in, so that's good. So we'll see. And Daiki, like the one in the middle, like on his knees now, he has like this like girly touch to him. So I think he's gonna be an interesting character for the show too. So we'll see how it goes. And also Ryuji, so the blonde guy, his older brother is Ryoji from an LGH group called Wolf Harmony, which I already liked. So and he has like a similar vocal tone like his older brother. So I'm already, into Ryuji because of that. And Giuseppe, half Italian, half Japanese, that's already a fire combo. And boy can speak, several languages. He went to an international school, so he's also pretty fluent in English. So I think Giuseppe is really like the type of guy we need for this this Japanese group who's really trying to go global. I think Giuseppe is going to be a really good candidate for debuting members. All right, next we got Buzz Up. Buzz Up, I think their performance was quite entertaining. Like they jumped, they played guitar, their dances was all right. And Goten, he's Goten is like the Dragon Ball Z character. Everyone loves his name. It's such a unique name in Japan. In Japanese, I mean. So him and Yusei got a B. And Keisuke got a C, so Keisuke is the one like lying down, and Ko, unfortunately, the one with the long hair is already out. Unfortunately, they say like he's more like a band member, which is true. Which I'm not sure if he should, but I think he would have deserved a spot at least for doing the theme song because he has a pretty decent voice. I think he has a good voice, and he was also in Taipuro in Timeless Project, so. He had some following, but like some really small following, he did not make it. So that's unfortunate. But yeah, I think performance-wise, I kind of like this stage. It was just entertaining, I think. Yeah. Next, we got Yume Shinsei. So here, Ayumu and Yusa are already out. Hideko is still in, but I don't think they tell us which ranking he got. So I don't know. The performance was not that good, if I remember, I think. And after we got Career High, they're all out already except Sushi because Sushi is the next Johnny's. So we already had like the Johnny's fans already been voting for him, but this performance was really bad. I think they just showed a little bit and he was really bad. So yeah, so actually they all got like TC, but Sushi through the votes he got back in. Next, we got Potofu Ikaga desu ka? So these ones are all from Hokkaido. And they're all out except Takumi, who got a C. And yeah, I remember this performance was really bad too. Next, we got Len. And so H-Len, I forgot his last name, but H-Len, the guy in the middle, he got a B. Koshimizu Len was a good surprise. I think he's also like no experience in dancing or singing whatsoever so far, but he's got a pretty decent voice, so he got a C. That was alright. And Kasahara Ren is already out, but I was so like, why? Because boy, he had like a pretty decent voice. I would have given it at least a D. I was a bit okay. That's a bit unfair, I think, for Kasahara Ren, and he's already out, so that's really unfortunate, I think, for him. Yep. Next one we got Li Hao, the Chinese kids, I think. I think Weizo is from China, and Kaichi, I think he's from Japan. I mean, it seems like he grew up in Japan, but his parents might be Chinese or something. And yeah, so Weizu got the B. He was pretty decent, the blonde guy. He was pretty good actually. Like especially in his dancing, has like some flair in it, so he's pretty good. And Kaichi was out. He was really bad, but he's back in, so that's good for the votes. And Kaichi, it really reminds me of Produce One of like the season 2 Muramatsuku, like the funny guy, And I think Kaichi is gonna be pretty popular because as I say, Japanese fans they love like this like funny guy, So I think he's gonna have some following, for him, so that's good. Then we got Tozai Namboku. This guy, actually, I do not remember their performance at all, but yeah, I think they're all still in. Yeah. Anyway, next we got Misters and Prince. here. So one of the already popular trainee in Japan, Yuki, the one in the middle, is really good looking. He got a D. And Mei and Haruto, they got TC, but through the votes, they're back in the show. So that's good. I remember the performance. We only saw like a few seconds, I think, and it was just nothing really. Then we got all of these other groups, which I was not able to find screenshots, but yeah, we got East. We only did like it was like a short summary of all of this group. Like we got East 5 here. Everyone, I mean, Koshin is out, Keishin is back in. Others we don't know. Mugendai, everyone is still in the show. Kyujo show, Rinto and Hiroto are still in the show, I think. And Kanta got back in, and we got like 22 and 10s with our cute Osuke from Boys Planet, right? He got an A, but we did not see his performance, but you know, they're gonna post everything after episode 2 on YouTube, so that's that. But he got an A, and Sora got a D, and Haruko and Akira are back in, and Duri unfortunately is out. So I think so far we saw 89 trainees, so I think there's 34 trainees left, so that's maybe like 6-8 groups left for the beginning of episode 2 we're gonna see. So you know, hopefully we're gonna have like the really good performance like at the beginning of next episode. So yeah, hopefully we get like some crazy stuff next episode. So next episode we see some teasers. You know, we know like Peekaboo, so Yura and Kotaro are gonna perform for next episode. Can't wait to see how they do, because I remember on Puje on like Project 7, Yura was a really good performer, you know, but I don't really remember his voice, like his vocal skills. So we'll see. And Kotaro for me so far, he's just really cute, you know. But yeah, and also a quick mention of Full Swing, you know, this guy, they got like at the beginning, they got this, you know, like full ass like screen time with like being like baseball kids, and like Imai Rikuto, you know, his dad used to be like a famous pro baseball player in Japan and also in Korea, and now he's a famous coach. He's coaching one of these like pro baseball team in Japan, so he got his screen time basically thanks to his dad, you know. But you know, I mean that's the show, you know. That's how you get your screen time. And actually, I really like Rikuto. I think Rikuto, just because of his looks, he's really good looking for me, and he has like these manly features. And in his one of his catchphrases, like I don't know, he's like something wolf, you know. So he has like this wolf type of facials, and I think he's really good looking. So can't wait to see how he's gonna do, you know. I already know because he's from Waseda, and he's also like in the dance club of Waseda University. So I'm pretty sure he can dance, but in terms of vocals or raps, I have no idea. So can't wait to see how he's gonna do. Hopefully they're gonna show his performance next episode. So yeah, that's about the my review for the performances. So nothing crazy, to be honest. Nothing crazy. I think Adam and Yoshiki saved us, I think, for this first episode. But other than that, nothing crazy really. So I was a bit underwhelmed, to be honest. But anyway, now let's quickly talk about the interesting chemis we already got. You know, like so the chemi, in Japanese the chemi is like the chemistry. So the duos, like we all the fans love to see, right? I don't want to call it sheep or call it like couple or anything. I'm not into this type of stuff. We call it chemi, right? So first we got Kinari and Takuto, as I mentioned. You know, they are like the senpai kohai. You know, look at this picture here. It's so cute. Like Takuto was like, oh no, like Kinari. He spent his time teaching me to dance, but he got eliminated. Oh, I'm so sorry. And like he was crying. That was really cute, I think. And look at him here with his his paper with like Kinari's name on it. Like it says Kenmutsu Kinari, and he's cheering for him when he was recording his video. And after they're hugging together, I mean we're gonna love this duo for sure. I mean I already love it. Let me know if you guys already are kind of interested in them just for that, because they're gonna be entertaining for sure. Next we got also like at the end Giuseppe and Haruko. I call them the Deshi Shisho, so it means like master and disciple. Like Giuseppe was basically teaching Haruko how to rap for his 30-second video, and you can really see like Giuseppe was so serious about it. So that's why I call him like the master. Not sure if they're gonna be a real Kemi, but at least for the end of this episode, it was interesting seeing them on that. And because Haruko went to Giuseppe to have him teach him how to rap. And I think it was in English too, so he also helped him like with like English pronunciation, which is really hard for regular Japanese kids. So that was really nice of him. So I really like that too. And lastly, we got Ryota and Akira, and these are like in Korean terms like the Hyungdong. Ryota, he already had some experience because he was in Stardust Entertainment. So he already had some experience in this entertainment industry, and he was helping Akira, which is this really young and cute Japanese kid. He's only 15 years old, and Ryota was like, okay, actually Akira really reminds me of myself when I was also super young, so I'm really happy to help him. And like he was so cute, with him. He was like here, he was cheering for him, and after you see he's like proud, like I smile, like pride older brother, almost like a parent. So I also find that really cute. So I really like to see, how they interact with each other and like, how they help each other. I think that's what make Produce 101 and old kind of shows like really happy. I mean, really, really fun. So yeah, so that was pretty good. That was really good. And yeah, so lastly, let me show you guys my picks. So here you can see like that was last month. That was my 11 picks because I thought we were gonna get 11, but now we're getting 12, so that's good. So but last month, those were all the guys I was already into for some reasons. Might it be like the skills or the visuals or any other facts that make me like into them for some reason. But now you see, these are my 12 votes here. So Kosuke, I'm pretty sure is gonna be my one pick. Why? Because he reminds me of Mami-chan from season 1. And Mami-chan, he was my one pick. And they gave me the similar vibe. They're like the Magne line, like the younger trainees, but they can dance. And actually they have like decent vocals, and Kosuke can rap too. And Kosuke also reminds me in terms of looks of LG1 Leo. He has like this like facial features. It's like I call him like the hype type of face. And Kosuke, I think is really cute, really handsome too, and like I just like him. That's just my I'm pretty sure that's gonna be my final one pick. And then I also really like Kinari. As I said, he reminds me of Ken, but also we have like him being from KO, and with Takuto they're gonna be like the Nano-chan, Yuki-chan, Joe is gonna be fun. And I don't know what it is about him, but Kinari, yeah, he just pulled me in. I don't know, when I watched his 30 seconds like rap and dance, because he danced to N-Team, I think, song, right? And I don't know, he has something about him that's kind of like mysterious a little bit, and I just like that vibe. And we haven't seen it yet, but Tristan from the Philippines, from Lipa, I think. Tristan got a really, really good voice. Everyone, you need to check out his like 1 minute PR video, because boy can sing. He's Filipino, right? But he has like this pretty voice, like that's really suited for R&B type of songs. And for me, is one of my main vocalist candidates. Tristan, please. I really hope like next episode we're gonna see his performance, because I really want people to really like find this guy. And then we got Yoshiki too. Yoshiki is also like one of my two main vocalist candidate here. Then we got Giuseppe. Giuseppe reminds me of J1 Keigo. I don't know why, because they really do not look alike, right? But I don't know what it is about their style, or I don't know. For some reason, he reminds me of Keigo, which I really liked in season 1, and I still like now in J1. But Giuseppe, and in terms of like everything he represents, Giuseppe, we need him for the group, in terms of like global appeal and whatnot. And Ryuji too, Ryuji, I also really like him. I think he's gonna be like maybe like lead vocal, and he also can dance. I really like him too. And then we get Tomoki. Tomoki is like the tall, cute Magne kind of vibe, but he has a decent voice, and I think he's really handsome, but then when he smiles, he's really cute, and he was one of the poster guys at the beginning of the show, right? So Tomoki, I also really like him. And we got Rikuto, Rikuto, the baseball kids. This guy for now, I really like his looks. I think he has like this like mainly wolf facial features. I really like. I think he's really, really attractive. And then I added, for now, because of these performances, I added Adam Archer, because I think they're in terms of appeal, like star quality, and for Adam, like vocal, skills. They deserve my vote for now. And also I added Utah also because I actually like last month actually wait, yeah, Archer was already one of the trainees I was interested in, right? So it was not a big, and Giuseppe too, but now they made it to my list. Now I'm voting for them, right? And also Jay. Jay is the Taiwan kid, like the tall Taiwanese kid. We haven't seen him yet, but I think he's also really good looking, and I think he has a pretty decent voice too. And I think for our global group, we need a Chinese speaker. So Jay is my candidate for that, and I think skill wise, he's gonna be good. I have the conviction he's gonna be good. So those are the 12 guys I voted for. I'm voting for now and until like I think it's April 17th. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna change. Maybe I'm gonna add in some, like Chisato. Chisato, him being Daigo's younger brother is just doing something for me, and he's actually a really good dancer, Chisato. So I might put in some votes for him, but we'll see. And also Shu, Nishizaki Shu is this really good looking trainee. I think he's one of the older one. If you don't remember whose Shu he is, Nishizaki Shu is this guy, right? This guy really really good looking, and actually he got a lot of screen time just because of his face, I think, for this episode 1. Really good looking, and actually in the behind the scenes of the like press conference, if you watch on the YouTube, there's one video and we can see like several trainees speak a little bit about the show, and he's the last one to speak, and you can feel he's like this really in Japanese we say shikkarishiteru. He's like really like he seems like really mature, really like responsible kid, like really, well, he's not a kid anymore. I think he's 23. Yeah, he's like really like reliable, and I think he's kind of like, for me it screams like kind of like a leader, like Yonashiro-kun, like J1's Yonashiro. It feels like leader, my leader, candidate for the group. So, and obviously I really like his visuals. We do need visuals, let's be honest. So yeah, so I might also put in some votes for Shu to Nishizaki Shu, because there's another Shu which is like the cute one. But yeah, so, and other trainees I'm interested in, is Fuma. But in terms of skill wise, it's pretty low, so I'm not sure, but I just like his face. I think he's good looking too. Also Sota, he reminds me of one of the Johnny's idol. I don't remember him. I don't remember who that. Kaminashi-kun, not Nakajima-kun, but he reminds me of something. But I think he's also, he's pretty tall and he's also good looking. So yeah. And then Yuma, the Alzi-1 lookalike, I don't know, his face just reminds me of someone. So I'm like, okay, let me be interested in you. And then we also got Eita, Suikawa Eita. I think when he smiles, this kid is really cute. And then now I also added Shinheng because I really like his voice and also his Subin, lookalike visual. So these are the guys I'm also interested in. So we'll see. And the popular trainees in Japan are, Ryoga, Daiki, Keito, Yuki, Maki, Yura, Koshimizu Ren, and Shion. We already know that it's super popular in Japan. When you check their views, they're already like up there. And for me, good surprise for this first episode was Yoga and Koshimizu Ren, because they have, to my, I was not expecting it, but they have like a pretty decent voice for people with absolutely no experience so far. So, that was interesting to see. So yeah, so here my voting certificate as a proof. These are the 12 guys I'll be voting for. And I cannot wait to, for next week to see next episode. It's going to be really fun. Because for me, next episode is going to be the best one. I always like episode 2 because it's when, they start to train together. We see like the drum life, vibes, and everyone is, helping each other. I really like this atmosphere, when they're like preparing for the theme song, and like, it's the new re-evaluation of everyone's skills. So it's going to be really fun. Everyone stay tuned, and please let me know in the comments who are your guys' top 3. Who did you find interesting? What do you think about the show compared to like the previous seasons? Because now we have global trainees. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, everyone stay healthy and see you next week. Bye.